Welcome to the Bears on Tap Offensive Line Film Room, bringing you all 22 views and breakdowns on the Chicago Bears offensive line. Presented by Quentin Q. Crisco and the one and only Ron Luce.
Coming off Black Friday. Oh boy, we got an O-line show for you guys. We got some good stuff to review. Bears O-line gets a game ball for this one. Rushed for nearly 300 yards. I think it was like 281 was the total. The most yards rushing the Philadelphia Eagles have allowed since 2015. Yes, I went back and found it because I was like, I wonder how long it took for them to give up this many. That's a lot of yards, Ron.
It's a lot of yards. That's a lot of yards to give up through the air, let alone on the ground.
Yeah, it is. So my name is Quentin Crisco. I am joined by Ron Luce. You can find us on the Bears on Tap podcast for all our other shows, but this is our baby. This is our offensive line film review. And Ron, do you have any thoughts before we get into this?
Q, I'll tell you what. I know you were traveling for the holidays and did the post-game show with our good friends Mr. Samir Patel and Sonny Verma on Saturday morning after this one, and verbatim, as we were getting started, I said, I cannot wait for the O-line review with Q next week because this one's going to be a treat, man. I'll tell you what, not only 281 yards on the ground, this is the first time that the Bears have had two players rush for over 100 yards in a game since Matt Suhey and Walter Payton did it against the Detroit Lions in 1985. It has been 40 years since the Bears did. And again, in a franchise known for running backs and linebackers historically, they did something that hasn't been done since the Bears last won a Super Bowl. I think that's pretty impressive. And man, I'm chomping at the bit. This one is the one I've been waiting for, man. I think, don't get me wrong, every one of these shows is always the next one that I'm looking forward to. But so far, this one is the one I meet with the most excitement.
And I'll open up with this. Like I got through my grading on this today, and everyone came out really clean except Ozzy. Ozzy had a rough game, but they covered it really well. And kudos to Caleb for covering it too. I think Caleb was extremely good at getting the ball out quickly, knowing that his left side was having some issues. But Ozzy, on the other hand, though, run blocking showed some serious improvement in this game from his first game. Really, like if we look at, like, I call it survival rate, means the no loss rate. Like they didn't take a loss on these reps. 83% was a market improvement for him. And everyone else, I mean, the win rates here are outrageous for everyone, really. It's like you can see here, a 25+% win rate is dominant in my book. And everyone was over 25%. Very good day. Very good day. I might have been a little generous to Ozzy on some of those reps, but like it was really market improvement, especially when it came to sealing the backside and kicking defensive ends out. He did it really authoritatively. But with that being said, let's get to the tape. So anyone that has this timer icon that pops up is going to be a pass. So we know that just right off the bat here. And I don't remember, these are chronological order. I don't remember why I had this rep in here. I just remember I just was going through it today and was like, okay, this is one to put in there. Nothing too notable here though. It was really, my eyes this whole game are going to number 98 over and over. Because that's the guy I want to see how they're doing against. That's Jalen Carter. I want to see how they're managing him. And, you know, he just went on the injured list after this game, we found out today. But
got his ass beat.
He did. Like, and not for a lack of effort from him. Like, he played his ass off. But, like, the Bears O-line just shut him down over and over. He had his handful of wins. But, like, for the most part, they did a great job against him. And I think the reason I had this one in here was I think Ozzy at left tackle is a little late to recognize this stunt. That's let's just watch it through because it seems like Thuney's kind of left hung out to dry here. The ball's out quick enough that it doesn't matter at all. But it seems like Thuney's trying to push his guy over to Ozzy so he can pick up 58, and that just never happens.
Yeah, and we talk about too, right? You and I have discussed it. We discussed it on our post games, our preview shows. Bears on Tap has a slew of this of what I'm about to say, but this is the perfect example, though, of how O-line friendly Ben Johnson's playbook is, because DJ Moore for almost pretty much a full second, holds up that looper on this stunt, which is number 58.
Yeah, I mean, that's over a full second, really.
That's a huge difference maker where it doesn't matter that Ozzy doesn't catch this. They know that ball's going to be gone. And again, to your point, I think that was part of the recipe of why the Bears O-line looked so dominant at times in the pass protection, especially in this game. Caleb was quick getting that ball out. You can feel the rhythm of the offense coming into play. You can tell Caleb's getting comfortable with these timing throws, with getting the ball out quickly. And I think that was part of their game plan because they knew how the conditions were going to affect throwing the football in this game.
Yeah.
And the Bears wanted the wind at their back in the fourth, so they took the ball with the wind early.
Right.
Early on, they were like, quick passes, run the football, that's it. We're gonna do that until they force us to do anything else.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I mean, especially Ron, I was shocked watching this game live when I pulled out my phone at halftime and it said Caleb had thrown the ball like 26 times or whatever it was. I was like, what? It didn't feel that way. I think a lot of it was because there was a lot of quick stuff, but at the same time, they weren't completing a lot of those passes either.
No, they weren't. It was throw incompletion, huge gash run, dial it up again. Like that's really what it felt like, especially in the first half of this game. Oh man,
you know where my eyes are. I already told everyone where my eyes are going to be. They're going to be on number 98. Number 90 can't be discounted either. He's a heck of a football player too.
Jordan Davis is a son of a bitch, that's for sure.
Yeah. And just, man, they beat them up, man. Darnell Wright just gives him the business right here.
How about
and
DJ,
Jonah.
How about DJ Moore too? Just doing enough to have to force Jaden Phillips there to stay honest.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a great catch.
This just again,
this coming around like an orbit motion, or was he just? Oh, he's just lined up.
No, he's this is something I've noticed that Ben likes to do is where he has his guys that are coming in the split zone just take odd angles because it forces players to have to respect them as a receiving option. Because now this play Q in 2 weeks is going to be a pass to DJ Moore. Right. So it's setting up something else that they're going to use in the future. You have to respect every element of every single play that Ben throws on the field. And this is no different. He's got backside contain. Caleb starts to boot out. Phillips has to think about that just for a hot second. And that's enough because of the wash that the 5 generate that you get this literally semi-truck level hole Q that you and I can both run through.
Yeah.
As just regular people.
It makes me so happy watching Dalman and Thuney work a combo. Like they are so clean at it, and they've gotten their chemistry has really taken off on these. And you're watching them move one of the premier nose tackles in the NFL right here.
Absolutely,
just like nothing, sliding off the play like melted butter. Like it's just.
And then watching,
they have completely displaced him and taken him out of the play. He's outside the hashes.
Yeah. You want to talk about how crazy too? Nakobe Dean and Zach Bond just get washed up in this play too, like it's nothing. And that's I think credit to Ben too. Ben knew that these linebackers were going to be aggressive, and took advantage of that later in the game. I think that's why we saw the Cole Kmet touchdown shape out the way that did because everybody flowed so hard. They had to respect the run, and in this case, these guys sell out so hard to the point that they totally discount the fact that he could cut it backside. He being Kyle Monangai, and you get this just literal gem of a play because. They take 5 guys, arguably 6, completely out of the play.
And so there's a trend that it got brought up to me in a group chat that was like, whenever Reed Blankenship inserted himself in the run fit, the ball went there. It was like there was like 5. The way that it was said in the group chat, these weren't my words, but it was find the white safety and go after him in the run game. It's like it's kind of what they did.
Sure is. And it worked. I mean, Ben found, they understood that Blankenship was not going to be that guy in the run fit, and they knew it, and they took advantage of it. I mean, this was just, yeah, dude, look at that gaping hole. I mean, if you can even,
everyone, the entire box is outside the hash.
it's just
You
a big
don't
pile of
see this
shit.
in the NFL.
No, you don't. It's just a big pile of shit, man. It's freaking cool. Like this is why I was so excited to talk about this game with you, Q, because this is stuff that, like you just said, you don't see this in the NFL every day. This is rare. There's a reason everybody is now
they snapped
respecting
it
the
from
Chicago
the
Bears.
opposite hash and end up all the way over there.
Yeah,
man,
displacement. Dude, they made Jalen Carter on this play look like a D2 D tackle.
Yeah,
against like Alabama. Like that's what this play looks like. It's unbelievable.
And Ron, if you wouldn't mind paying a little attention to the comments as we get stuff going through, just because I struggle to get into there while I'm doing the video, but I want to make sure if there's anything coming in there, we got you guys covered.
MJ50's 100% right here. He says, I'm feeling like this tape is going to be borderline not safe for work.
Yeah.
Not wrong. Not wrong. If you're watching this on Friday when you're on your lunch break, make sure you have headphones in, keep it away from other coworkers. You don't want to get an HR violation because of how not safe for work this one's going to be, because this is an ass beating.
Something that I want to say, and like it's all, right now where everything's really good, so we're all smiles and like the compliments come out quickly. But it's something I've been noticing all year. Drew Dalman has a whip for a right arm. He shoots that thing back there. Like that thing just that thing is flying back to the quarterback in shotgun snaps.
It's a piss missile, man.
Yeah.
The best centers are like that. I mean, I think a lot of people recall the Jalen Hurts interview on the New Heights podcast from a year or two ago, where, everybody's like, Hurts, why are you so low and like in an athletic position when you catch snaps? And he's like, because Jason Kelsey's trying to rip my head off with the football. Yeah. Dalman's kind of like poor man's version of that, where it's getting back there quick.
And so this one pass play, obviously, I really like the job that Jonah Jackson's doing on Carter here. Mm-hmm. And it's nothing flashy, it's nothing special, but he's just matching power with power and getting his grips on him and not letting Jalen Carter be Jalen Carter. Mm-hmm. Not letting him find the edge, get to space, and just rip out of it. Because Jalen Carter is such a different cat when it comes to like a flexibility and like movement ability nature. Like definitely, he just gets his hands right on him and says, "You ain't going nowhere because I got a strong grip."
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he is. Again, he's one of the premier D tackles. There's a reason he was a top 10 pick, and this is just such a good rep from Jonah in the sense of, like you said, Jonah wins when he gets his hands on guys first because he's just so physical and strong. This is a perfect example of that, where Carter tries to get there, but Jonah's quick. As soon as he gets out of his set, boom, there's the hands. Yeah, it's immediate. And from there, then
you can see Carter trying to rip his hands off right here. Oh, yeah. Brings both hands down, trying to seatbelt him away. And he can't because Jonah's he's strong. Like, it's beautiful. Like, I love when that stuff pops up in tape, because it just reminds you, like, oh yeah, like it makes up for some of the losses that you get for Jonah's like lack of lateral quickness. Yes. It's like, okay, this is why he's paid what he's paid, and this is why he's here, because he can do that, and a lot of guys can't.
And I think, Q, I think back to last season where we watched a lot of Matt Pryor. Mm-hmm. And him and Jonah Jackson, I think, have a lot of similarities as guards in the NFL. But where Jonah separates himself that I think Pryor struggled with was Pryor was good if he got his hands on you first. Mm-hmm. He really struggled, though, when really powerful defensive tackles were able to swipe at his hands. Yeah. They would knock him off center. You would see kind of that center of gravity for him move. And because of that, guys could get around him and beat him. With Jonah's anchor is so clean when he is able to get his hands and establish that balance that you get plays like this, right? You see when Jonah gets, there's force there. Jonah sizably is whiplash down a little bit, but because of how strong he is in his base, he's just able to reestablish his body position and stay right where he's at and nullify anything that Jalen Carter's trying to do.
And then Ron, do you remember who number 50 on the Eagles is? That's
Phillips.
Phillips. Okay.
It's tripping me out too, because I'm so used to him being 15 in Miami.
Yeah.
So 50 looks really weird on him. I have to keep reminding myself that.
Darnell Wright played an outstanding game against him in pass pro.
Oh,
Really
yeah.
took care of business against him in the run game too. But you saw it later in the game. You'll see there was a lot of Darnell Wright on Jalen Carter in the game because he was playing a lot of 5-tech, 4-eye. But on this rep, obviously, we're seeing Phillips on him, who Phillips is no slouch. He's a very good edge rusher. And we see what we've seen from Darnell all year. Just that lateral ability for him to get wide quickly and match the edge rusher and also not overset. And just there's just so much about Wright's game that has stepped up this year, most notably in pass pro, where it's just like he's there. If in pass pro, he's there right there with any offense tackle in the league, in my mind.
Absolutely. And he's just so big and he's so nimble. And again, you and I have talked about it for 3 years now. Just the things he can get away with because of his size and his athleticism. Again, another reason he's a top 10 NFL draft pick, just like we were just talking about with Jalen Carter. His ability to, do the unorthodox things and get away with it because of his strength, his balance, his just raw athleticism. It makes him such an interesting specimen. And I think now too, Q, and this is something I don't think we've really talked about enough. Everybody's so hyper fixated still in terms, I think, of NFL fandom on the left tackle position because of blindside, because of Lawrence Taylor, because of, we want to rush the quarterback's backside. That shit doesn't matter anymore in the NFL.
Yeah.
Often you see the best edge rusher rushing the right tackle.
Khalil Mack played against the right tackle.
TJ
Watt, right tackle. Myles Garrett goes wherever the matchup is. But
I think even Nick Bosa does a little bit against the right tackle more often. That Max Crosby's another great example, right? He moves around.
Right tackle guy for the most part.
You see him a lot against the right tackle. I think the right tackle is becoming just as important, if not more important, in today's NFL than the left tackle is. And it's
from
just
a pass protection standpoint, I agree with you.
Just because I think so many teams, like the whole idea of, protect the backside, protect it, like that's kind of gone. Now it's, hey, get in the way of the passing lanes, get your hands up, right? I think when you're rushing in the face of a passer, you can do more damage because he sees you. It's almost less intimidating if he can't see you, right? There's almost a psychological, I think, element to it as well. But not to get too far on a rant here, but I digress. To your point, I think Darnell Wright, there's a reason the Bears wanted this guy, and you can clearly see why, especially now that he's worked with Dan Rocher and has turned into what we believe is an all-pro caliber, tackle in this league.
Yeah. And then on the left side, we see Ozzy Trapilo and Jalix Hunt over there. Hunt had his moments against Trapilo in this game, but on this rep particularly, it's just he's just a touch slow with his feet to set outside, and it opens up the inside because of it, was the way that I see it. But Joe Thuney, outstanding job recognizing it, seeing what's coming before it happens, and saying, "Nuh-uh, that door's closed."
Yeah, and there's a reason the Bears have been able to get away with Theo Benedict and Ozzy Trapilo played left tackle all season. This is why.
There's a reason the Bears O-line looked great in this game when Ozzy struggled. Ozzy struggled, and watching live, you wouldn't have had any clue that he struggled.
Nope. And that's a lot of that is because you have Joe Thuney and Drew Dalman, who they are so in sync with one another that you can tell Thuney is immediately looking that way, and Dalman's ready to overtake in the event that he pulls off. I also think too here with Trapilo,
that's tough overtake at this point. Like, he's a full body and a half away from Dalman here, and Dalman's still able to jump in and overtake it.
And I think that's where the athleticism, I think, of Dalman makes him stand out above so many. And I think that's why you see centers becoming more athletic. They have to be able to get there and overtake. And you see it in this case. I will say this with Trapilo, Q. I think he actually oversets him a little bit. And I think that's why that inside gets opened up.
Yeah. I agree. I think he oversets, and I think his feet are a touch. I want to explain my thought process more. He oversets because his feet are a touch slow in my mind. Like he's slow. Like he is rushing to get out there because his feet are a touch slow, and because he's rushing, that is why he oversets. That's the way that I'm reading the play, at least.
Sure, the almost the panic settling.
Like he never actually plants
And I
as
will
he's
say
getting out
this. I will say this too, and I think this is the inexperience of a young tackle as well. Watch the first kicks of Darnell Wright versus Ozzy Trapilo as they kick. Darnell Wright's is under control, right?
and it's much faster.
It's faster, and then that
Like,
second kick, though, that second kick
big.
is so much shorter, right? Because he gets out there and establishes his
Yeah.
angle, and then he's just kicking to continue to get some depth.
So
Is
here's
what Wright
where
is doing.
Wright's first foot lands right here. Ozzy's still in the air. His second one, you're right, much shorter, much more controlled, and he's down. Ozzy's still working to get out there.
And that second Ozzy kick is really far out there, right?
Yeah.
Because to your point, I think you're 100% correct, Q. Is he thinks he needs like the panic in his mind is setting in, and he thinks he needs to get out there.
Well, I'm sure
This
he
is-
knows he has Thuney like watching the inside on this one too. You know, like there's probably like
Most likely. Absolutely. Because that's where the protection's called. You can tell.
yeah.
Wright and Jackson are locked up one-on-one. Dalman's starting your slide to the left, so he knows he has inside help.
I will say though, he oversets. But one thing I really liked from Ozzy on this rep, why I had trouble knocking him on this one, is he goes, "I'm beat." So what does he do? He grabs him and torques him.
Yep.
Torques him straight into Thuney. Doesn't go, "I'm beat" and not sure what to do. He says, "I'm beat and I'm going down fighting."
Absolutely.
Which I loved that. I like, if you're gonna lose fighting.
Absolutely. Yeah, don't just give up on a play. Keep battling until the whistle. I love that. You know what I love, Q? The first thing I get out of all this, I love that Ben Johnson's bringing the wham block back.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of wham blocks anymore. But son of a bitch, they're fun.
And we're talking Cole Kmet right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whamming the backside
Moro
three here.
Jomo right there, 9-7. Wham!
And he gets just enough of them, and that's
Gets
all you
just
need.
enough, and he doesn't get a penalty trying to get all of it when he's not in a position to get all of it.
Bingo.
That's big to me too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, you never want to get called for trying to do too much. That's the opposite of what you want to do there.
And again, we look at 9-8. I mean, we're seeing Thuney and Jonah just taking care of business there, clearing it out. And I mean, when you see Jordan Davis isn't on the field, I think it's pretty easy to run the football here.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, okay, you guys want to play it that way. You want to have 290-pound Moro Jomo out there. We're gonna have some fun.
Oh yeah, we'll take our 250-pound tight end and wham at his play side knee. Not a problem.
And they get up to Nakobe Dean, number 17 there, real smoothly. I mean, I love the break off of the combo block from Dalman here. Jackson has complete control of Carter, so Dalman is able to just get so cleanly up there and take out Blankenship, who overran the play as well.
Yeah, and I mean this is a testament though to Jalen Carter, because that's him diving at the end of the play there, trying to make the play. This is one of the instances where I love when players will push off, but sometimes you almost screw over your own guy, and it's not intentional. Because if you watch Dalman's hand, he's on Carter's hip, and that's exactly what you want to do. That the easiest way to move a person is on their hip, because everything has to go with them. And he almost throws him so much to the point that Jonah gets launched off balance.
Right,
on this play.
because Carter, as he should, is holding, and this is why I hate defensive holding, because you're never going to call it consistently. So why do you call it at all? Because Jalen Carter, as he should, has his hands inside of Jonah Jackson's shoulder pads. So if he goes flying, Jonah goes flying.
Bingo.
That is good coaching. That is what he's supposed to be doing. And we're starting to see flags thrown for that in the NFL, and it drives me nuts, because they didn't call a flag here. They didn't call a flag in any of the first half of the Thursday Night Football that's on right now for that. It happened over and over and over. I hate that penalty so much. I will die on that soapbox.
I just think if they're not going to call defensive holding, they shouldn't call offensive holding either, but that's just me. Unless it's egregious.
Right, but like it happens
There
constantly.
are
You need
some
to call it
instances.
consistently if you're going to call it. Like,
I think defensively, if it's egregious, it should be called.
yeah.
I think if it's just within the combat of the trenches, I think it's fine
And I
because
think
both sides are trying to do that.
like where I feel like I've seen a lot this year that are not egregious get called.
Agreed.
And I'm just like, this just feels cheap to me.
Soft. Absolutely. That's the word I describe officials in every sport right now with, Q, is just soft. So I'm right there with you on that one.
Oh, so this one. Let's see what happens here.
It looks like a delayed rush from Phillips because he comes in really late.
I think Wright thought that he was twisting. I think he thought 97 was coming to spike him, and that guy was twisting inside, which he might have been. It looks to me like that might have been the plan, and the Bears shut it out. And 58 just makes a really nice audible on the run and says, okay, well, I'm doing this then.
Yeah, I think that's 100% what happens here, Q. Because based on Wright's body language, he's prepping for the stunt.
Yeah.
He and Jonah are prepping for the stunt. I mean, this is just beautiful, though. Look at Dalman working against Davis.
I know.
I mean, that's a crazy mismatch for Drew Dalman size-wise.
One-on-one?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a mismatch for a lot of guys, but Dalman is a smaller offensive lineman. Like,
I would say the only center that I would truly feel just physically looking at and say, yeah, you probably could handle Jordan Davis one-on-one is like Creed Humphrey, and that's about it.
Yeah, Creed. Frank Ragnow was there, but
he was, but now he can't come back because he's still hurt.
Yeah. And then otherwise on this rep, I think Ozzy had a nice rep here. Yeah. I don't know if I marked it a good rep, but it was at least like it was passable, and I thought like it was passable, bordering on good at least. I think that he gets a good grip in there and takes control of the rep quickly.
It was fine. He did his job.
And I love the when any offensive lineman can take away a defensive lineman's hands. And he does that here. He just holds it up. He goes, "I got it, coach. I got it."
I love a good wrist grab when you can execute them properly.
Darnell Wright was so good at them in college, and we're starting to see him get a few more of them now, which is like we're starting to see his hands really start to get to the point where I was like I've been a little disappointed in his NFL career with where his handwork has been in that respect, just because he was so good at it in college. I feel like we're starting to see the development come through with it now at the NFL level.
Definitely.
So this one, they botched this pretty decently. I shouldn't say botch. I mean, Jordan Davis does his best he can to wreck this with Jonah Jackson here. See number 90 coming in on Jonah Jackson. Right here, we see Jordan Davis do a really nice job blowing this play up. He interrupts Komet. Komet actually goes to the ground there coming across. And there's another. Who's that other blocker?
I think Komet's the backside guy. I think that's our boy Durham Smythe coming through on the front side. Yeah.
And Moro Jomo, number 97 too, does a great job getting in the backfield and really just like this was not the way that this is drawn up for Dalman or for Jackson. And they disrupt both guys pulling across. But you know what? They just find a way. They keep the Bears offensive line here, the Bears blockers, I shouldn't say offensive line, because tight ends too. They don't hesitate. They find a way to keep moving forward and keep making a hole for I think it's Swift to get in the end zone right here. Like I was really impressed by their ability to get by, even though everything went wrong at the point of attack of exactly where they're running the football.
Well, this is also kind of the beauty here of counter, because that's what this is. This is counter pretty much all the way through. But instead of pulling a guard and a tackle, you're getting it just tight ends involved, right? Smythe is your trap guy, last man on the line of scrimmage. Here in this case, they're saying, hey, you know what? We're gonna work. We want to work inside, so we're gonna shorten your trap. You're just taking out the 3 technique, or in this case, Carter's in like a 4, but same idea. And then Komet's pulling up for the first guy he sees.
Yeah.
This is counter, what you would normally run with an offensive line, but you're using tight ends as your pullers. And then you're just one-on-one with all your big guns to wash down the guys. This is why the Ben Johnson offense is so fascinating. He's taking normal run concepts and he's just dressing them up in a different way.
I can't get over. Your lead blocker is on both knees on the ground behind your left guard, knocking him over, and you still get in the end zone with it. Like, because he gets up and still gets his guy.
Yeah. I mean,
kudos to Durham Smythe here, man. That is an outstanding job.
It is. Again, and that's also a culture thing too, right, Q? Like,
yeah,
oh shit, right?
100%.
Not giving up on a play, go 100% balls to the walls, get there
100 miles an hour at all times, no matter what goes wrong.
And gets a pretty good block on Jalen Carter too, may I add.
And the one other thing I wanted to point out in this one is it was actually Joe Thuney who got pushed in the backfield because he's trying to cover up what was it, like a 2-eye? He's trying to get in front of the 2-eye, which is Ojomo, number 97, because look at this beautiful climb from Drew Dalman. It's something that will get lost in this play because it's not a sexy block, right? It's not like he doesn't do anything that's loud and explosive. Just watch his feet. This is a tough thing to execute as a center, as a 300-pound man trying to navigate a short space with a bunch of other feet around him and still land his spot and get on the linebacker. Just impressive stuff from Dalman there.
Yeah, just good athleticism, being able to get out of the way. And that's because you see a lot of guys on those type of plays get tripped up.
Yeah.
It's a very common occurrence.
My favorite coaching point I've ever heard, and I will continue to preach because it's my favorite, is don't trip.
Don't trip.
Drew Dalman doesn't trip. And
Nope.
I'm giving him credit for it.
Oh, this one was a thing of beauty. I remember this one. I've seen the all 22 on this one already. This one's fun. And again, this is another one of those goofy, you're going to have DJ Moore and Durham Smythe out there. Like that's a play they're going to run at some point this season, Q. It's not going to be a handoff. It's going to be a little dink pass over I think it's Cooper DeJean here. It's going to be a little dink pass with a lead blocker that's going to go for 25 yards because Ben Johnson's a sicko.
I love it. He just marries everything up so beautifully.
It's awesome.
And
guy's a
you
sicko.
get just enough of a hold from Darnell Wright here and not get called. Love it.
We love it.
And once again, we see the entire, like this time they're on the hash that that the blocking is going towards, but we see the entire box taken outside the hash, opposite side of the run. Like,
and again, too, Q, you mentioned, the box and how this all plays out. Nakobe Dean being a part of this box. This is why these guys like DJ Moore coming in motion, Durham Smythe clearing out of the backfield to the opposite side. This is why this stuff is so important to Ben Johnson. This is that smoke and mirrors that he incorporates because you force a box player out of the box because of their coverage responsibility.
I mean, watch number 21 here. I think that Sidney Brown, maybe, because of the motion,
they bump.
He's going up high, opposite side of the run, and the other safety's coming down opposite side of the run, way outside the hashes.
And then you got Nakobe Dean. And then you got Nakobe Dean flying out with Durham Smythe.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even notice that.
So you're already, even with Cooper DeJean coming, because now he has to stay honest with DJ Moore and Caleb because they're booting to the backside. This is why you got to sell your boots too. If there's any young quarterbacks watching this, that's why you got to sell your boot.
You're right. That Nakobe Dean part
flies out. That's
that's what makes it a home run play at that point because
bingo.
Romo Dunze doesn't have to hit that block now. Romo Dunze is free to go find the next guy.
Again,
and that next guy, that's how it turns into a home run. Yep. Like in theory, at least.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, that's the little details of Ben Johnson. I know that if I put a fullback back here, somebody's going to have to account for him. So they're already losing somebody. And it creates that huge backside gash and then all your front side guys have to do, you're able to take your double teams out to the next guy now.
Yeah.
On the offensive line. You don't have to work up. You can work
Which
way to the front side of the play, creating that backside cut lane.
Which, speaking of which, pretty sure Jonah decapitates a linebacker or a safety coming off his double team.
I think poor Zach Bond gets the worst of this one. Oh yeah, no, just gets smoked.
Okay, he ran away from it.
I'd run away too.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Protect your health. Because Jonah Jackson ain't protected your health.
This is from a little bit earlier here from MJ50, a sicko crack block on 32. Yeah, there's been a couple of those sicko crack blocks, and we got some Bears love from here from our good friend Bear Truth 9 in the comment section. We appreciate everybody jumping in and joining us in our
32?
sicko mission this evening.
Oh,
I think it was from the last.
Okay,
I think it was from the last play too, Q. Yeah. But yeah, there's been some sicko again, just the little details, the little nuances of what Ben Johnson throws at you.
Yeah.
It's truly art.
Let's see, is this a screen? Oh no, I had this in here for the Darnell Wright. And the Joe Thuney. Joe Thuney gets crazy wide here out to the opposite side of where he's lined up to hit that block. This is mostly about Darnell Wright on Jalen Carter.
This is also another instance of why what Ben Johnson does is so important. Watch 53 and 17 as Joe Thuney pulls. They're going to take their run breed steps. And that two-step hesitation is all you need for other things to open up behind. Again, they say football's a game of inches. That's part of that game of inches. Getting guys out of position, even if it's just for 2 steps, can open up a world of difference in terms of the hole that you're throwing to, who's coming on a rush, what's available for the defense. And if it's a little bit of a better throw, I mean, this is
to think this was wind impact.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Not to excuse, like I'm with like watching this live, I was like, you got it, like that throw that's there. But I'll give a break for the wind on that at the end of the day. But let's watch Darnell here because Carter starts off going up against Jackson. And then Darnell overtakes it and just goes, now welcome to my world.
Bye-bye.
Just makes, I mean, this might be where he hurt one of his shoulders.
Probably.
Because that's a lot of weight coming down.
And Darnell almost puts him in like a freaking sleeper hold almost.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder if there's any history there. Because Tennessee, they were same draft class, Tennessee and Georgia.
Yeah, SEC.
I got the vibe that there was some bad blood between the two. And maybe that's just because Jalen Carter has bad blood with everyone he plays against. But like, Darnell seemed a little personal to Darnell.
There's a little bit more familiarity, I think, for Darnell because of how often he saw Jalen Carter in college. So I'm sure there's no love lost in the SEC battle.
Maybe Darnell puts a bit more of a chip on his shoulder than we think. Maybe he's seen Bears fans out there saying we could have had Jalen Carter. Hey, I love me some Jalen Carter. I was very happy with the Darnell Wright pick and everything that came with it, with the trade out and all of that. But like, I also would have been very content taking Jalen Carter just because I adore the tape for that guy. I don't adore much of else that he puts out there, but the tape is incredible.
I think, especially at that time, too, because everybody was so worried about the Eberflus defense and how important that 3 technique was. And everybody was like, well, we could have had Jalen Carter. And now you look and it's like, oh, I think we all feel good about Darnell Wright being the pick.
Did you see the heat map of this play?
No.
So there's like Next Gen Stats does or Amazon does a like heat map version for where pressure is.
Yeah.
And it's wild where it's just like, you're clear. You're starting to get red. Red. The whole map is red. And then it's like, oh, now you're clear again. It was hilarious.
Greased up deaf guy doing greased up deaf guy things. Yeah. I will also say here too, this is To me, this is one of the things that like you really only see it often in the pros. Sometimes you see really good college linemen do it, but it's very, very rare. Is when guys get because it's I think it's only taught in the NFL level. At least that's the only place I've ever seen it taught. Is the when you get hit with a spin and you start spinning
Mhm.
yourself, it's to spin back to their spin.
Yeah.
And that's what Jonah Jackson does here against Jalen Carter. And it's a thing of beauty because he's getting beat. He's getting
It
beat.
is.
Then he feels Carter spin him, and he goes, "Well, I'm going to spin right back into you," and he gets there. I think
Very well done. Yeah.
it's the most impressive thing that NFL offensive linemen do because you almost never see that in college.
Yeah.
Absolutely never, because it's not taught any lower than the NFL because these guys are just freak athletes.
Yeah. Well put. And then Darnell Wright, I think, just dominates this rep from the start. There were 3 or 4 reps where he had the guy just caught in a spin with his back, and it's just like Darnell Wright's basically just like, "You're not going anywhere now. You done fucked up now." And this was one of them where it's just like, "Okay, well, I got you. Good luck."
He's like, "Where do you think you're going, buddy?"
And then Ozzy, I thought, was solid on this rep as well. Everyone was solid on this rep, but like this was one that I notably liked from Ozzy. Let's get back. I believe he was pretty aggressive with his hands, which was what I liked about it.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
the
he catches the wrist there, which is always big to me. Like I probably put more weight on that than I should, but I'm so impressed by a guy's ability to just catch the other guy's wrist and, like I said, go, "Coach, I got it."
Yeah, and I think especially too that strong inside hand is what I really like here now for Ozzy is he kind of misfires, but his recovery here is a thing of beauty. And again, I think this is something that the Bears liked about Trapilo, and at least something that I caught from watching a little bit of film on him was he's never going to wow you, but he's just consistently usually pretty effective with his technique. Where in instances like this, like he's going to be able to recover because of his technique.
Yeah. And something that I really noticed in this game, that, I wasn't like, he showed power in college, but you're always like, how, like, you never quite know how well power is going to translate. This dude's strong. This dude is very, very strong. And it's evident, like, there are some moments where you see, it's just like, oh, okay, that he just stonewalled that guy. Like, that guy had no place to go. This rep probably isn't the best example of it, but there were some where it was like, he's a lot stronger than than like I guess you expect, which is an interesting thing to watch for, because I think that is probably going to be his biggest trump card in the NFL.
Definitely cute.
His power.
While we're on this topic, I think this is a great time to bring up this comment from Bear Truth 9 here. He says, "Now that you've seen Trapilo at the left tackle spot, do you guys have any doubts about him being athletic enough to take on the position full time? Also, what improvements have you seen with him since camp?"
So he's definitely like, I think he's the best left tackle on your roster right now.
I agree.
Even though he had a tough game, even though he had a game that was graded about as bad as any game I've had this year in pass blocking, in this game, I still think that everything I saw can be improved for the most part. And if I have any concern, it's his speed. It's his ability to get wide quickly. And I think an off-season of training at left tackle is going to go a long way for that, because you got to remember also, this is a guy who has primarily played right tackle, and this stuff is still very new to him, but he looks natural enough to me that I'm not that worried about him sticking at left tackle, as long as he can improve that explosiveness, that quick twitch, to be able to just get a touch faster with it, because I really do think his power is going to matter a lot. Where there was a rep or two in this game where I was like, oh, he's beat outside, but his left hand was powerful enough to just hang on and run his feet under the block. And that to me is big, because that's how he's going to have to recover in the NFL, is with that power, because he's not going to, like, I'm worried about him against Micah Parsons next week or on Sunday. I'm very worried about him against Myles Garrett in a few weeks. But for the long-term aspect, I think I'm thinking that he will be able to stick. As far as improvements since camp, I can't I just put so little weight on preseason and camp highlights and stuff that like it's hard for me to say where he has improved. His improvement from last week, much more aggression and run blocking. Definitely started playing into his power more. Probably more confident that he has the power to play with that profile after his first like full game. I think that is going to keep showing a little better.
I think too, just to add on, because I think you put it beautifully, Q. I think what Trapilo has, he has the physique of what you're looking for in a left tackle. I think his fundamentals are a good base. He, to me, was a high floor, maybe a little bit higher ceiling player, where, to your point, if he gets a little more explosive with the quick twitch, maybe his kick step gets a little faster. Again, I think a lot of just working as a full-time left tackle helps with that, because as somebody who's played both sides, I can promise you the drop feels very different from side to side. Whether people believe that or not, it's very different. Like, I can drop a lot faster in a right tackle stance personally than I can in a left tackle stance. And that's just comfort, right? So I think for him too, but like you mentioned, that power, and you give him another year of working with an NFL strength program in the offseason, you give him all of that too. That power is just going to continue to translate. I think that's also what Ben Johnson wants in his left tackle, is a powerful left tackle where, sure, maybe you're not the most finesse guy, and you're going to have your instances where, they're going to have to maybe give you some tight end chips or receiver chips like we've seen with DJ Moore, with Rome Odunze, or like in this case where you have Rome kind of inserting in the C gap here. You're going to have instances where they can do that, but that power is what they want, because we all know what Ben Johnson wants to do. He wants to play bully ball, and he wants to just pummel teams, and Ozzy Trapilo allows them to do that.
He almost, like, in this is a weird or hard thing for me to say confidently, because I'd never actually watched a lot of O-line tape back when John Tate was playing. But he reminds me of John Tate. Just like, he is massive. Yeah. He is stronger than you expect him to be. He might not be the fastest guy, but he's a fundamental football player who's going to do things the right way. And that's kind of what the upside, I think, is for Ozzy. Like, that's as high as I see it going.
I like the John Tate comparison. John Tate was a damn good football player too.
He was, but I can't sit here saying, "Oh, I watched John Tate's tape and feel like I'm seeing the same thing."
We were like 10 years old when John Tate played for the Bears. Like, but I'm right there with you. I kind of agree. I like that comparison, because I think back to that iteration of the Bears offensive line in the team's history, especially like in our lifetimes, where they really didn't have anybody that was super flashy, but they just had a lot of really strong technical offensive linemen like Reuben Brown and Roberto Garza and Olin Kreutz and Fred Miller. Like, that was that O-line. That's what they were. They weren't flashy, but they were technically sound, and they were fundamentally sound, and they got the job done. And that's what you want out of a left tackle like John Tate. I like that. I like that comparison. Now you're gonna put me down a rabbit hole tonight. I'm not going to bed till 2 a.m. because I'm gonna go find John Tate highlights on all 22.
Beautiful. I love it. So this rep, Thuney does a great job climbing. Dalman swivels those hips around and cuts off beautifully, and then you just see just follow Jonah Jackson and Darnell Wright if you want to see a dead body type action. Because they're just out here to blow people up and chew bubble gum. They're all out of bubble gum.
Dude, they are just, it's so fun to watch them literally just beat the living shit out of people.
It really is, man. And not, we have to talk about DeAndre Swift too. He ran great in this game. He ran very patient and decisive at the same time, which is exactly what you want, right? Like, he knew what he was looking at and did what he had to do with that.
And Q, I think some of that too, like, you think back to DeAndre Swift's college tape and why everybody was so high on him coming out of the draft. When you have a really good offensive line in front of you, you're more confident to do things like this, because you know where you're going. You're almost not scared that you're going to have to make a rash decision, 2 seconds after you get the football, not even 2 seconds, a second after you get the football, because you know these guys are going to clear holes for you. Then it's using that quick twitch, that explosiveness that has made him a high second round pick when he came out of college, to do shit like this one-on-one in open field. Like, that's where you want DeAndre Swift. That's where he's at his best. And when you clear running lanes like this, that allows him to be the best version of this football player. And that's why the Bears are getting the most out of DeAndre Swift. That's why when it's all said and done this year, he's probably going to have a career year or pretty close to it on the ground.
Yeah. So is this the one I'm thinking? Yeah. Ron, do you think Caleb got flipped around and thought the play was going the other way?
He might have.
That's what I think happened here. And I had to bring this on because I was like, it seems like everyone else is on the same page. The routes are all going to the right side of the field.
Mm-hmm.
And Caleb is just turned around on where he expects guys to be. So just a mistake there. But like this led to a sack, I think, or it might have been a throwaway. Does he get it away? Yeah, he does get it away. But like I couldn't put anything on the O-line on this play because I was just like, nothing makes sense. So this I think that had to be what happened.
Yeah, and I think too. Again, we don't know the complexity of these play calls that come in, but I'm willing to bet there's one little detail in there where it's literally either sending it left or right.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have a mental lapse and you're like, oh shit, trying to recover, and all of a sudden he realizes, there's nothing there. I think part of the reason he then rolled left, I think he was concerned that the action wasn't gonna give him open space on the backside, which in reality, obviously hindsight's 2020.
Right.
The action still worked, even with him opening up the wrong way.
Yeah.
Because the Eagles were just so paranoid about getting to the point of attack. Everybody still flowed, even though Caleb opened the wrong way.
Well, and I mean, he's probably just thinking Swift messed up. That doesn't mean everyone else messed up, right? Like at that point, because his eyes are back. Like he's not seeing anything that the O-line's doing until he flips his head around here. Right. That the routes are doing. And then he's like, oh, I got it backwards.
Yep. And you know what? This is just a good play on Caleb's part to say, you know what? I screwed up. I know I'm going to take punishment for it, but I'm just going to get the ball away and we're going to live to see another day.
And for the love of God,
that's the right play. Yeah. And that's the right play. Like to me, that's growth as a quarterback, because we saw Caleb do shit last year as a rookie where he'd run around, take a sack, right? This is just, shit, I got it wrong. You know what? I'm not going to try to play hero ball. We're in the red zone. We're going to live to see another day. I'm getting this bitch out of bounds. Next play.
Yeah.
That's on me. We keep it moving,
Just launches it.
Find the first guy in the stands you can see and just get it to
Joe Thuney. Joe Thuney, man.
He's Hall of Famer.
This dude's different.
He is different.
Like, he had a few losing reps in this game, but he had more positive reps than I think I've ever marked down for a player in a single game, where it was just like these Eagles defensive tackles had to be so frustrated by the end of this game, because every time it's like this defensive tackle's got to be thinking, I got leverage. I've got him trailing. I'm going to win this rep. What does Joe Thuney do? Resets his hands low, locks his feet in, and just says, no, you're going that way now, brother. Like, and just completely overtakes the rep and says, I'm the captain now. Like, it's so nice.
He's just so good, man. Like it's funny. I was able to attend one day of training camp. Unfortunately, it was one of the shorter days. Just bad day to go, I guess. But courtesy friend of the program, Jonathan Wood. He was nice enough to give me his ticket because he wasn't able to attend. And I remember going, and I literally I just watched the O-line naturally because I'm a sicko. But also, I scoured every place they sold merchandise there to try to find a Joe Thuney jersey, because I'm like, I want a Hall of Famer's jersey.
Right.
And this is why, you're seeing it. Like, Bears fans, if you don't understand this, watching this show right now, enjoy watching 62. This guy's going to Canton when he's done playing.
He's without an all-time great. He's an all-time great.
He's one of the best to ever do it. I don't. When's the last time the Bears have had one of the best all-time do it offensive linemen? Jimbo Covert?
Right. I'd argue Olin in there.
Olin, but
even that's a center, and that's a little different.
Right.
There are different factors at center that I'd say at guard and especially tackle you're dealing with a
way
different.
Beast. Yeah, way different. Yeah, it's a thing of beauty. It's also I really like this rep from Ozzy because he initially gets beat, but he does a really nice job of resetting himself.
This is the one I was talking earlier where I was like, oh, he's toast. He's beat outside. He's toast. And watch his left hand get into the chest here. and just take the guy away, like just shut it down.
Yeah. I also really like too, though, Q, and it's probably going to go largely unnoticed. I really like what he does with his right hand here too, though, because as he feels him starting to go to his outside, rather than just turn and kind of open the gate, is the terminology that I tend to use. He's shoving him, and what he's trying to do is he's saying, "Hey, if you're going to knock me off balance, I'm going to keep you off balance too."
Right.
So that way, if we're both off balance, I have a better chance to get back to net zero, reclaim my base, and get back in front of you. So again, it's the two-hand mix, but the two-hand independent mix of I'm gonna ride your back shoulder with my right hand. And then when I feel comfortable enough that I can get back in front of you, I'm gonna bring that low left hand with strength
Right.
and reestablish my hips and swivel back in front of you. Like, it's such a hard thing to do unless you're just a big, powerful, athletic freak like all these guys are. It's a really pretty rep. Again, it looked ugly initially, but that recovery, like, it's something that I would tell young offensive linemen to learn. Like, don't rep it all the time. But in instances, like, especially in your off-season training, like, work with a D lineman and start from a position where you're beat and work on, swiveling those hips, strong inside hand, being able to rework your balance, because it's critically important, because then you can turn what looked like it could have been an easy sack into something that
edge rusher is licking his chops right here.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I've got this now. And like I said earlier, this was the rep where I was like, oh, Ozzy, I did not realize you had power like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's when I started really noticing the little things that are telling me just how powerful he is, and made me go like, okay, I think there's a lot to work with here once I start seeing that.
Oh.
Which, not that I didn't think there was much to work with, but like I was still waiting to see it at the NFL level.
This play was crazy too, because the fact that Caleb was so off balance when he throws his football, and he still
and
somehow unnecessarily off balance too.
He thought there was someone at his feet.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, could you imagine if he just fully sets himself here and doesn't try to just like jump man Derek Jeter throw this thing?
You're telling me this isn't how the quarterback coaches teach it?
Most certainly not. But like, I remember watching this live, and I'm like, oh, if he's not off balance, that's a touchdown. Like, oh, he's not off balance. And now it almost, like, in all 22, it almost looks even worse.
Yeah, it does.
It looks like
live,
Ozzy's a lot closer live than he actually is.
Live, I thought that he was in more danger than he was, and I was like, Rome's got to make a play.
No.
On the all 22, I'm like, oh, Caleb just kind of got the spooks there.
Like, shit, Rome almost does make a play. I think that's the most impressive part of it all. Oh yeah, Jonah.
Let's see. I was looking at Wright, who's not that eventful at right. He just kind of shuts it down, but I think the guy's kind of just doing a contain rush anyways.
This is the Jonah Jackson bread and butter cue. Inside technique jump. Oh yeah. With that
jump
inside
set, get
punch.
my hands on him and let me just rip him around a little bit.
Can you take this back just a little bit here?
Yeah.
To about like 0.3 on the clock. I wanna fully, or no, sorry, like 0.3.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. I just want to fully emphasize this punch, right about there. Watch, I think that's number 94 is the D tackle. Watch his shoulder closest to Dalman, so to our left. This punch, how much force that generates from Jackson, and why he gets stonewalled.
Like we talked about, or like throughout the season on the show, the dents that Jonah Jackson puts in defenders, that just like he bruises guys up and makes them feel it throughout a game. This is what we're talking about.
That's you need an ice pack on your shoulder blade after that game, because he just tried to rip your shoulder out of its socket with that punch.
Yeah. You can see him like feel, like you can see his reaction to it, not just the movement, but like his like, shit, that hurt.
He's a big burly man. He also always, you know what I also love now that I know this about Jonah Jackson, he looks miserable in every O-line photo they take before road trips. He always just has like the dumbest look at his face, and it almost makes me like Jonah Jackson more.
I'll tell you what makes me love him more. Nick Mariano did every every week he does like interviews with all 22 with players asking.
Shout
about
out
stuff.
Nick, because that's
Yeah.
awesome content from Nick. Yeah,
It's,
big
it's
shout
some of
out
the
to
best
Nick.
beat writer content you can find.
Agreed.
But he did one with Jonah Jackson this week, and Jonah said something about the eye in the sky don't lie. You got to be finishing. If you're not finishing, you're not doing your job. And I love that line. If you're not finishing, you're not doing your job. And Jonah Jackson like lives that out.
Yeah.
You looking at Jonah again right here?
Oh, yeah.
The pop.
Just big man punches, dude. He's unreal.
Let's see. That's a Thuney gives up a little more ground than I'd like, but he recovers so nicely. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, this is a tough play. This is impressive recovery from Joe Thuney.
Very. I mean, it always is.
And especially too, like I think the other thing that most people need to remember as well with these type of plays, like you're selling run. This is play action. So like your interior three need to be a little more aggressive than they probably normally would.
They're
they
jump
need to
setting,
sell it.
They're coming out on guys.
It's sometimes you're going to miss. And this is the kind of the stuff that happens is you
are
can
pass
get
blocking despite your first two steps being forward. Like look at Thuney's first steps. He is coming at the guy.
Yep. Because he's trying to sell it.
Yeah. Which narrows that margin for error when the guy rips inside.
Yeah, and Jordan Davis is a motherfucker, and that's just not an easy block. But swivels his hips around. All you young offensive linemen watching. God, he's so good, dude.
I think I actually did give him a poor rep on this just because it's his guy. Like Davis tips the ball, but like
he's deep in the backfield.
But it's still it's so nice that the negatives are like it's still beautiful, as opposed to the negatives are like that probably should be a bad, but I'm just going to give him a poor because I can't keep giving him bads over and over.
Yeah. This is nitpicky poor, and that's where that's when O-line grading gets fun, when you're nitpicking about poor plays. Oh boy.
Yeah, this is the sack or one of the. I think he took 2 sacks in this game. This is one of them, where this is just honestly. I mean, that's not even. Is it Ozzy's guy off the snap? Yeah, I guess it is. He's just super wide. I wasn't sure if it was a guy who was coming in the picture late or not, but only two down linemen. You know, there's a guy coming wide.
Well, and here's the thing that I don't like about Ozzy, and we're gonna play the compare yourself to an All-Pro game again because I have to. Darnell Wright versus Ozzy Trapilo, right? This is how you play a wide guy like this, and again, this is like extra wide. This is only NFL wide.
Right.
Watch Darnell Wright.
We're talking his alignment is like a wide 9 alignment. It is far outside the tight end. Like you are as wide as it gets.
I can't even call that a wide 9. He's on a high school hatch. Like that's how wide he is. That's unreal. But watch Darnell Wright's set, and specifically watch his body positioning. He's kick stepping, but he's kick stepping vertically because when they're that wide, you want to take away angles.
Yeah, look at the difference in their shoulders.
Bingo, baby. He's square to the line of scrimmage. Don't turn your shoulders because as soon as you do, elite defensive ends like this have the angle they want in order to get by you. He knows he can get to his outside shoulder because he's already opened it and already swung the gate open. Whereas Darnell Wright, first off, sets for that wide D tackle in case he comes outside, which is the right set. And then as soon as he knows that's Jonah's guy, then he's just quick, quiet feet. And he's getting more vertical than he is turning his shoulders and opening up to that guy. And that's something that Ozzy will learn over time. Yeah. It takes reps. It's hard for a rookie offensive tackle who's playing his second game at left tackle to jump in and feel comfortable doing that. But that's the reason he gets beat here. He turns his shoulders and he doesn't stay square and try to cut off the angle. Instead, because of him turning his shoulders, he actually gives Nolan Smith exactly what he wants on this play, which is that outside edge, and he's able to run right by him and get the kick.
Yeah. And then, like we said, early in the show. Jalen Carter will get his.
Sure.
I don't think this is like I gave Jackson a minus on this. I don't think it's necessarily a poor rep from him. I think it's just Jalen Carter is a freak of nature who is just going to pry you open sometimes.
Definitely. Q, couple quick comments here as well. This was in reply to some of the Ozzy Trapilo discussion that we had. Bear Truth 9 liked our Tate comparison. He says, I think he said he actually thinks that's a pretty good comp. He says the improvement that he sees a lot better knee bend, isn't reaching as much. Yeah, the technique's better. And that comes with coaching, that comes with reps. Like, we're 14 weeks into the NFL season. Like, you're gonna see that, especially from a guy who has a pretty good technical base already coming out of BC. And then a couple other ones here. Our good friend, Mr. Sonny Verma, one of our quality co-hosts here at Bears on Tap. It's just not a coincidence. Kansas City's struggling this year and Thuney's not on the team anymore. And MJ50 says Jay Cutler thinks that's fine footwork.
Anyone with Jay Cutler's arm is okay with it. Let's put it that way.
100%. And then, yeah, like Sonny says here, we appreciate all the likes and comments on this video. So please hit that like button. That only helps us out. And then you can go back and rewatch this, and you can rewatch some NSFW level run blocking from the Chicago Bears.
Oh, it's so beautiful, Ron. Like, look at how wide these gaps are. He has his pick of the litter. Which direction do you want to go?
It's a thing of beauty, man. It's an absolute thing of beauty. When all you see is white jerseys, it's just unreal.
It's utter domination. Like, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, and I love again just the sicko play design. Like, instead of asking Colston Loveland on a DN, hey, you're gonna just pin and pull with Ozzy Trapilo here, and we're gonna let Thuney go 1-on-1, and you're gonna pin and pull for Bond because you got the backside backer. And then you've got a combo block up to the play side backer and Dean. You got DJ Moore 1-on-1 with Cooper DeJean. Darnell Wright's entire job on this play is to throw Jaden Phillips out the club. And then, like you said, DeAndre Swift gets the pick of the litter of what hole does he want to run through.
It's just so nice. And look at the beautiful job by Loveland.
Yeah, this is
just squeaking around the corner.
I know everybody was so like Tyler Warren, like two-hand Tyler Warren early in the season. This is why the Bears drafted Colston Loveland. Like, yes, he's a great playmaker, and we've started to see that more and more. But like, this dude blocks better than most tight ends in the NFL.
Which he didn't actually land this block, but still, his ability to get there is huge.
But he gets that's
half the job.
Yeah, taking the right angle, knowing what your attack point is. And again, because he's in the way, like, DeAndre Swift probably gets a couple extra yards here.
Yeah.
And those couple extra yards make a huge difference.
Yeah. Loveland's like, I felt like in his college tape, there was no question he is a good blocker and a willing blocker. My question was like, if you wanted Cole Kmet's role, right? If you wanted the inline blocker who's going to be going against defensive ends at times, I was like, Tyler Warren's your guy then.
Right.
But I don't think that's what the Bears want. You know, it's like that's the Bears don't need that. They have Cole Kmet on this roster. Mm-hmm. They need a guy like Loveland who can double as the wide receiver at the same time while also being a maniac of a blocker. And that's what he is. Like, I think he can hold up against defensive ends at times. I think he's going to get hurt if you ask him to do that constantly.
I agree. It was the instance of we have Tyler Warren at home. Like, that's I think how the Bears looked at it. A quick one here from MJ50 says, on that sack, would it have made sense for the quarterback to audible do a QB inside run? Probably not, because when they get that wide, they can do a lot of weird stuff. And if they bring like a double A gap blitz for some reason, then Caleb's hung out to dry. And that's not what you want there. I think Ben also has the confidence typically in this offense to get, again, if Ozzy just takes a better set, they're fine. Like, it's not as simple as just like, well, yeah, we're just going to run quarterback draw. No, you want to run the play. There's a reason that play's being run, but you need your players to execute too. It's not all play design. Play design is part of it. Execution is another. And you need both in order to have plays like the Bears had, in these games that were, this huge gashing runs and things like that.
Ron, do you notice a difference with Ozzy against a wide rusher on this one?
He keeps his shoulders square.
Yeah. I think
'Cause he
Roshar
learned.
had some words for him.
Yeah, and you know what though? That's I think a difference though with a guy like Ozzy because BC's a very intellectual school, right? Like he's very clearly a smart football player. These
Yeah.
guys, it's okay if you make a mistake once. I'll live with, if I'm an O-line coach in the NFL, I'll live with your mistake if you do it once. It's if you keep doing it, then I'm gonna motherfuck you routinely. But he learned. He says, you know what? I should have kept my shoulders square. Probably avoids that sack. I know to do that next time. And son of a bitch, here you go.
And the other thing I noticed on this rep is just Joe Thuney's beautiful. Gets that
Literally
hand
and
on that
figuratively.
inside shoulder. Gets the defense tackle off balance. Has his back turned essentially, passes him over to Dalman, and then picks up Carter on the loop there. Like it's textbook.
Is that Carter or Davis? I don't know. It doesn't matter. They're
Oh, I
both
think that's Davis. I think you're
studs.
right.
They're
Yeah,
both
it's Davis.
studs. He passes Carter off to Dalman and then gets Davis.
Yeah.
Like, what a 1-2. You just blocked two of the best defensive tackles in the league. Like, it's absolutely nothing.
Yeah. He was incredible this game.
He's so good. It's unbelievable. Like, the smile on my face is genuinely out of just like sickoism of just like, this is cool.
Now, I think there's a little don't slip action here, but
Don't slip. Never slip. This would have been, I mean, he's so open. It's disgusting.
I think DJ actually said that about this. Like
He did.
A reporter asked him today, and he's like, "They're my feet.
Yep.
Don't slip.
Don't slip. Don't slip." Yeah, I don't know if it was just like the field was bad or what, man, but like that happened a lot.
So, like people were saying that Philly usually like has a really good field, so like I don't know what caused it.
Yeah, I don't either. Bears need better cleats.
I guess so. Maybe they brought the 1/4-inch cleats.
Rookie mistake.
I think this one is just pretty straightforward, just a good rep all around. Thuney's outstanding here, and this is another one where I really notice Ozzy's power, his ability to just stand the guy up and just get straight into his anchor, which for a longer leg guy, as we've seen many times with Braxton Jones, is a question. And he's so far shown that his anchor is there, despite being longer limbed.
Ozzy Trapilo physically is the marriage of Theo Benedict and Braxton Jones.
You think so?
Kind of like he's got the length of Braxton, he's got the length in the legs of Braxton,
But
he's got the anchor of Theo.
Yeah.
Maybe not as good as Theo. Theo's anchor is like sicko level anchor, but he's kind of gives you a little bit of both. He's the most complete tackle on their roster, at least on the left side.
Yeah. You're right. He's a good because like he's not outrageously long, but like Braxton's outrageously long. But
Braxton's like freakish, like horror movie long.
Yeah.
Caleb.
And you see Darnell Wright just locking his guy up again with the spin move. The desperation spin move is a complete fail. Because, I mean, the guy doesn't hit this spin thinking it's actually going to work. He's just like, I got to try something.
If I was a defensive end and I felt Darnell Wright just get into me, like I wouldn't even try to spin because that would scare me more that he's going to like hurt me. This is a really good timing throw too. Luther just needs to keep his feet here, man, because this is a really good timing throw. It's maybe a little high.
I think Luther started to sit and they saw where the ball was going and goes, "Oh, I gotta keep going."
Yeah,
I think that's what happened there. He just misread the route because if he sits, I mean, he's right. If he sits, that ball, Nakobe Dean's got an interception.
Bingo. And again, it's a rookie receiver that's still learning. Like that, you're going to have those hiccups and growing pains. And Caleb made the right throw. Like that was the right throw from Caleb.
Oh, this one.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah, Darnell, something happens here. I guess he thinks that Jackson's coming with him. I would say he's kind of ends up in no man's land here with maybe outside.
It's kind of, I'm not going to lie to you. It's kind of tough to tell what the pro is here. I would bet though, based on to your point, I would bet this is a full slide right, and I think he's expecting Jonah to come with him.
Yeah,
because the key to me here is you're obviously keeping Cole Kmet in to block, But if it was a traditional pass pro where I would want my tackle on the end claiming he's covered, right? And then my guard, and then we start to slide.
Mhm.
Trapillo's starting the slide here. So to me, that screams, hey,
Yeah.
you're uncovered, you slide right. And I think Jonah realizes it late too, that he's like, oh, shit. I was supposed to come and help Darnell. Darnell thought I was coming and I
That's a
wasn't
good
there.
catch. You can see Jonah's body language there.
Yeah. I think this is just, I think, and again, you also don't like, when they're that wide, you also don't expect those guys to spike inside.
Right.
And then greased up deaf guy still somehow gets rid of the football because
Still throws an almost catchable ball.
yeah, with 4 guys in his face.
From this point on, I'm pretty sure it's just the Smash Mouth show of let's get downhill and angry.
Downhill and angry, baby. I
Jonah
love
Jackson right here. This is one of the best reps of the season.
It's just so good, man.
Like him and Dalman on this combo, and then him finishing the combo with authority is it's gorgeous.
And I love the usage of the pin and pulls with like receivers and tight ends with backside tackles. They do it a lot with whoever's playing left tackle. Theo, they've done it with a few times. Ozzy in this game. Like you got Zacchaeus coming through. He's very clearly coming to pick up somebody on the backside here at the second level. Based on where his eyes are, it looks like it's Nakobe Dean. And then just because DeJean keeps crossing, he just takes him because he was crossing his face. But yeah, man. And then just bully ball. And then a great block by Loveland, too. I mean,
yeah.
Springs the Loveland's block is what turns this from a 15-yard gain, to like a 25-yard gain. I mean, that's a huge block. And Monongai makes the right read. He sees where Loveland's head's at. He's got the inside leverage. He's working inside out.
And Ron, I gotta ask, does a bulkier tight end like Tyler Warren make this block consistently?
Probably not, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think Colson Loveland's big asset as a blocker, as much as it is in line, is really what he's doing at the second levels.
Definitely.
Because he has the body movement ability to actually match those guys to a degree.
And it's kind of like, that's what's kind of fun about this Bears tight end room is you've got Cole Kmet, who's probably your best of the 3 in terms of like line of scrimmage blocker. You got Durham Smythe, who's kind of that like hybrid guy where he can do both because that's what he does best. And there's a reason he has a job. There's a reason that Ben Johnson's like their first free agency move was Durham Smythe, right? Like they immediately went out and got Durham Smythe. That was one of the first things that happened in free agency for the Bears.
And this is I just want to point out, Jonah Jackson gets beat on this rep by Jordan Davis. This is an extremely difficult block. Yeah, asking him to get across here to basically a 0 tech, kind of a 1, I guess. Yeah, I guess it's a 1.
It's a 1. Yeah, I'd call it a 1.
A guy who doesn't move extremely well laterally, asking him to hit this, like I think it's okay to ask here and there, but I don't want to knock the guy too hard for it either, because that's just a hard block to hit against Jordan Davis, especially.
And I'll be honest with you, I like initially he does a pretty good job covering him up.
Yeah.
But that is a real bitch of a block. Like in a perfect situation, I think this is one of those. Again, I think if you have somebody that's not Jonah Jackson at right guard, or you don't have Drew Dalman at center and you have a bigger center, this is one of those instances where you could kind of call for like a kind of a pin and pull look, right? You have your go backside, you have your guard pull around and clean up, essentially climb for Nakobe Dean.
Right.
But because of the personnel, they're saying, Jonah, you got to get this block because we're utilizing Drew's athleticism to get to the second level here.
Yeah. And it's a lot to ask Dalman to just cut that off on the spot and not give ground,
Exactly.
To have enough room for Jonah to even hit that pull. You can see exactly where Jordan Davis lands his hands right here of just like altering Jackson's trajectory.
Yeah, like again, I think Jackson's initial contact is great, but Davis does a great job shedding him and playing half a man.
Yeah.
That's a big boy.
It's a big old dude.
Crap.
But
Crap.
Jonah Jackson's
Yeah.
gonna get his.
Yeah.
These were consecutive plays.
Dude,
So Jonah Jackson got beat on the play before this, and then Jonah Jackson comes back out there angry.
Dude, I love traps. I think trap. I don't know what happened to trap. I feel like trap is so like lesser run in football. Like when I was playing high school football, trap was like bread and butter.
Yeah.
And now I feel like a lot of teams don't run it anymore. Everybody's so, oh, we got to run zone, or oh, we got to run duo, or oh, we got to run, like, no, man, give me just a trap right up the fucking hash. Run the hash, baby.
Like, look at Jonah get the twofer. He gets 58 in there too.
So good, dude. I love a good trap. It's perfect. Like this is how you run trap. Like your 3 interior guy, this is how you run trap.
It can't go understated. Joe Thuney doesn't trip.
Doesn't trip.
Joe Thuney gets up to the linebacker.
Oh, dude, Jonah just murders
know,
people on this play. And again, that's just good smash mouth football. Like the beauty of trap, it's a quick hitter. Like you're probably going to get at least 4 yards, even if it's sloppy. And when it hits well, you get plays like that where it's almost 10 yards a carry.
I don't remember exactly if I had this one in here for a reason or I was just getting delirious, but
I was gonna say, how many snaps did you watch again? Q 85?
81 snaps, I think it was, times 5.
Yeah, I'd be delirious by the end of this too.
Yeah, we'll just move on to the next run.
Hey, that's okay. Also, a sick catch by Loveland on that play.
Yeah,
may we add
that it was.
Oh yeah, sicko.
Ron, they've gotten so good at just creating this wall on outside zone. It's of just like this cutback wall. Is really becoming bread and butter for them. Like they are just killing it at this.
And Q, really quick, because you've kind of mentioned this too. Like, you had a great conversation with Bobby Peters, and he was kind of giving you
in a group chat. He wasn't directly talking. I wasn't asking.
Hey, that's okay. That's okay. We can. It's still friend of the program.
Yeah.
You can. He kind of saying how it's almost more mid zone, and it kind of is. Like,
yeah,
this isn't your traditional outside zone. It is kind of almost more of like a hybrid zone. It is more mid because they want this cut black lane. Like outside zone, you want to get the edge. Like that's kind of the design of outside zone. Mid zone, you kind of do want the cutback. Like that's really what you're looking for here.
Well, and you can tell when I say this is becoming a bread and butter, I'm talking about the cutback lane where it is like they are targeting this. They are saying we want this spot here, and we're getting it pretty consistently.
Yeah, and it's a thing of beauty. It's an absolute thing of beauty. And Q, speaking again, just really quickly here of Mr. Bobby Peters, I just scooped this up. 2018 Bears offensive manual from Bobby Peters. I got a couple more books of his coming when he did his Thanksgiving sale. He's writing the 2025 Bears one.
Yeah,
and
I know he's working his ass off on it.
Q, when I tell you, like, I'm not a huge reader, but I do like to read. When I tell you that's the book that I'm seeking the most in the next calendar year, I mean it. Like, I cannot wait to read that. It's going to be purchased as soon as it's released. I'm so excited. But just a quick shout out to a
make
friend
sure
of the program.
Go. He sells his books on Amazon.
Yes, he does.
Bobby Peters. I'm sure you can find it. He has playbook manuals for a ton of different teams out there
from different years.
It's awesome stuff. He has some Detroit Lions ones from Ben Johnson era. Like,
I scooped the 2023 Lions. I scooped the 2024 Buccaneers because I want to see some of the Liam Cohen, excuse me. And naturally, I wanted 2024 Los Angeles Rams because I want to see all the weird sicko shit that Sean McVay is doing. And then again, I'm going to get the 2025 Bears one and see the weird shit that Ben Johnson do. I can't wait, but didn't mean to get a sidetrack. But
all good. I'm all good for pushing Bobby's stuff. Like it deserves more attention.
It's good stuff, man. He works his ass off because this shit, it's a grind to put these type of plays on paper and explain what's happening. And like, it's a grind. It takes a lot of work. So
this was another rep where it was like Ozzy's calling card is going to be his power. Like you watch him land his hands here and you see the defender jolt back a little. Like it's gonna be, and then he's able, it's not the best anchor. you've ever seen, but he's able to get there eventually. And
Mhm.
just he's calmly walking it back. He's not getting jolted back by it.
Just violent punch.
I don't think he's fully there yet, but like eventually I do think he is going to be a very powerful offensive tackle who is always going to have some issues with speed, but will get his share of wins at the same time because he's just getting hands on guys and saying, "You're mine now."
And I think that's where, like, especially for whatever duration he's a Bear and however long that's with Ben Johnson as the head coach, Ben's going to scheme up against speed guys where he's going to give him the tight ends and releasing
Right.
inside of the DN to give him an extra second. Like that way he's able to get into that anchor and he's ready with a violent punch. And then he can use that power against guys that maybe would otherwise have a matchup against him.
Yeah. This one's another great example. Guy gets his hands into him. Ozzy grips and contorts the guy and says, like, "You're stuck there now. You're stuck in that position." Like, I am, if there's something that I'm excited about with Ozzy, it's the power, which I did not fully expect. Like, I was not fully expecting that coming into watching him in the NFL. Like, at Boston College, you saw some of it, but I felt like his calling card was nothing. He was a guy who was good enough at everything, but I didn't feel like there was a calling card. And he's not an elite power player like Darnell Wright. Darnell Wright is like an elite power player in my mind. As you can see on this rep, well, this one's more about his handwork than anything, but you got to watch it because it's beautiful, beautiful snatch trap. But
beat him up.
But Ozzy's more like controlled power in my mind, where Darnell's more explosive power.
Agreed. Controlled power is a really good way to put it, Q.
Yeah. And that wraps it. That's all we got.
That was so enjoyable. That was so enjoyable.
It really is. It really was. This is I think I had 8 minutes of game tape to parse down for this one, which usually it's 5 to 6 minutes. So there was a lot to get through in this one. I feel like we touched on everything we needed to. But Ron, any final thoughts before we close this out?
Q, this is the type of stuff that makes me sleep like a baby and just dream of what's to come on Sunday. This is part of the reason to me, Q, especially because, again, we're O-line enthusiasts, we're O-line nerds, we're O-line sickos, whatever verbiage you want to use. This is the type of stuff that makes you excited to watch Bears football, because this is a brand of Bears football that we've really never seen on the offense, or at least we haven't seen in a really long
Not since
time.
Like 2006, probably.
Yeah,
They had a monster O-line then.
Right. That's probably the last time. It's been probably close to 20 years since the Bears have had a truly elite offensive line. Like, they've had average units, typically, like good enough to get by. Obviously, they've had some really bad offensive lines. We've covered some of those in the last few seasons. You're seeing what happens when you just get a really good offensive line together. Guys that know what they're doing, really technically sound, maybe have their limitations, but together make up a really strong unit. And again, this is why Bears football is fun right now, Q. And you know what? I hope we're talking about a Bears victory on Sunday after they play the Packers, and then I hope we get to break down another just dominant performance like this one.
Yeah, I mean, my main thought after watching through this, if the Bears keep playing like this in the trenches, no one in the NFL wants to see them. No one. Even, like, I was watching the defensive tape. They were beating them up on the D-line too.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they were dominating the D-line or anything, but they were just making them feel their presence all game, throwing punches, making them understand that you're going to have to fight to beat the Chicago Bears. And, like, that is very exciting to me.
You can tell that why when Ben Johnson was hired, remember, we always heard, like, he's like, the Chicago job's the job I wanted. The Chicago job's the job I wanted. I think he understands that, like, Bears football is meant to be physically dominating football. Like, that's the NFC North. And I think he saw that's what he wanted, because, like Bear Truth 9 says here, we have never seen this on offense, period. We haven't. He's brought the identity of the Monsters of the Midway, which has historically been a defensive moniker, to the offensive side of the football. And that's really freaking cool.
Yeah. And to, like, we've mentioned Bobby a few times now, to Bobby Peters out there saying, like, this is some of the more creative run stuff we've seen. And, like, he did temper it with, like, well, the most creative run stuff I've ever seen was probably 2022 to 2024 Lions. It's like, but this is that guy,
Right.
Like this is the cutting edge. This is the burning edge of NFL run game right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben Johnson is making it happen. He is the reason it's happening, and that's the Bears head coach, and that is exciting stuff. When you look around the league at the Sean McVays, the Kyle Shanahans, it's like the Bears have one of those guys right now.
We got a guy.
And this, like, the first thought that pops into a lot of people's head, in my head admittedly too, is, well, Matt Nagy, 2018 was great. Matt Nagy was a lot of smoke and mirrors and fancy stuff in the pass game, though. There's no faking this. Matt Nagy didn't want to run the football. Ben Johnson lives to run the football. And that is exciting because he is dang good at coaching it up and drawing it up. And here we are, man. The Bears have their guy.
The Bears, they got a guy, man. It's cool. It's really, really cool.
Yeah. But Ron, why don't we close this out with a good old bear down, and we will get on to the Packers on Sunday.
On to the Packers, Q, and bear down, baby.
Bear down.